All right, to be respectful of people's time, we'll go ahead and get started. Welcome to Eder Casella Technologies Tech Talk featuring Microsoft Teams. We're excited to see some familiar names and also welcome the newcomers. I'm Rachel McNerney and I will be your moderator for this webinar. If you have any questions throughout, just simply put them in the chat. I'll be watching those and we'll be sure to answer them at the end. This is scheduled just for 30 minutes, so we're going to try to stick as close to that as possible. And I'd like to introduce you to Eder Vicencio, partner with Eder Casella Technology and my go-to tech guru. Eric will be sharing his tips and to make teams work harder for you. So Eric, if you're ready, you can go ahead and take it away.
Certainly. Thanks, Rachel. All right, so I'm going to do some sharing really quick here. Show you all some of Microsoft Teams. All right, so how do we get Teams to work for us? I think the most important thing for you to know is that there's a lot of features that Teams actually can do that a lot of people don't even utilize. And I'm going to highlight some of them. By all means, this is not an all-encompassing list, but these are some of the things that people want to see. And the best way for me to show it to you is not through like a presentation of, a PowerPoint, go here, go here. I'm actually just going to do a live demo. Live demo is going to be going over some of the chat instant messaging features, Teams messaging, which I'll go over, is a little different, calendar integration, calls, screen sharing, meetings, files and SharePoint/OneDrive integration. If you don't know what any of the SharePoint or OneDrive is, it's definitely a feature that you're probably missing out on, and some of the tasks that you can do. All right, so from here, I'm going to go ahead and exit my PowerPoint. Fun times. Okay, diving right in. We've all probably seen Teams load at boot. If you have Office 365, Teams generally gets installed automatically and it starts popping up. And a lot of people are like, I don't need that, close it, close it, close it. But they don't understand everything that it can do for you. So I'm going to start just on the base screen, the activity, and this is just what's kind of going on in my day. A lot of people don't live and breathe in the actual activity tab. So I'm going to breeze right over it and then I'll come back to it, okay? We're going to start with the chat functionality. Okay, so depending on your age, you may be familiar with AOL, chat rooms, Yahoo chat rooms, things like that, or just regular text messaging. Teams is basically that, right at a cusp. If you just want to use it for base level, you can send messages. You see, I'm actually on a demo computer. So you see, I'm kind of having a conversation with myself here. So if I wanted to say something else, we go through the list here. Hi, hello, test, it works. Yep, plans for today. And then I responded with, we're literally the same person. Okay, so let's say, what time is this done? Okay. Then from my other fancy computer over here, which you cannot see, I'm going to reply. And I want you to pay attention at the bottom of the screen where it says type a new message. You're actually going to start to see my face pop up. Stops at noon. Okay, it shows you that I'm typing a response. This comes in extremely handy if you're having that real-time collaboration with somebody that you work with. Or if you don't like this feature, a lot of people don't know that you can actually turn it off. By default, it's able to be turned off per person or globally. So here at Eder Casella Technology & Co., we have it set globally where that's not, like, you can't really turn that off. It's nice. I actually like that function. I like that people can see it. The other thing to note is statuses of the individual. You see by my face, there's a little red dot. That means that I'm busy. It actually says that I'm in a call. It's awesome. It also gives you a bunch of information about that individual, who they report to. And this all pulls from Active Directory or your Office 365. It'll allow you to see all the contact information. It also gives you the status, and that's what I wanted to focus on. So let's say I am at my home office. okay, and I'm busy, right? Set a status message. You just want to say at home. Suddenly, people will see that whenever they try to go message me. So I'm going to do one for my other account here, just to kind of give you an idea. I'm going to set my status to say in a demo. Sweet. Done. Perfect. All right. So if we click over Eric's face now, see down here, it says in a demo under, and it actually says what time. So that's a huge feature that a lot of people miss out on. You can also change it. Let's say I have something on my calendar and I'm not really busy and I want people to know that I'm available. You can change it to green. That's what that little green check mark is. If you want to change it to do not disturb, appear away, appear offline, those are all available. You can also set durations. This all pulls from your calendar, your Microsoft Office calendar. So it's important that you actually utilize that calendar in order to get these statuses correct. There are some other functionalities that you can do with these, but again, that'll probably be a deeper dive. And I got to keep this to 30 minutes, and we're already 7 minutes in, so gonna run. All right, so let's say you're at the office and you want to send a message to somebody else in the organization. If you just start typing their name, it queries to see who all is in your organization. So Rachel, being the marketing manager, I'm going to just go ahead and say hi to her. Okay. All right. So once I say hi to Rachel, she then could reply. She doesn't have to, but this little check mark over here shows you when it's sent. Rachel, can you just go ahead and click on that message so you read it? So another cool feature that Microsoft Teams has is it'll show you when the individual read the message, and it does take a minute, but as soon as she clicks on it, it should show up. As we start going through this, she might not even have that on. You can turn off that feature. The read receipt is what it's called. You can see that she also added a nice little smiley face. You get all these emojis right off the bat. I like to call this one the sweary face emoji. You can use that one as you need if you're extremely angry with somebody. There is also the capability of doing group chats. So let's say you have more than one person that you want to send it to. So let's say I want to include all the Rachels in the organization. I could add Rachel Lesperance. I could add Rachel McNerney. I could add Rachel. I know it's super confusing here. You have to be named Rachel in order to work here. You can add all three. And this is like that stereotypical group chat that you get part of that you ultimately end up removing yourself from. You can do it from this functionality as well. Or let's say, oh, wait, I didn't mean to include the HR person because, she is HR. We can remove her. You just click the little X. Let me get back. Click the X. She's removed from the chat. The other cool feature, if you've noticed, that Teams is actually keeping all of the communication chain. So as we continue to go along, it keeps everything. So this comes in super handy if you've been a few weeks down the line and you're just like, oh man, I know I said something to Eric or I said something to Rachel and I want to relook at it. You can actually go back up and take a peek at what was sent. Some of the other cool niceties that they have here as well. You've got your GIFs. You've also have, stickers that you can put in if you don't know what GIFs are, funny little things to just add into your messages. Maybe not the most work appropriate or necessary, but you know what, they're there. You can turn all of these on and off. You can also schedule meetings with the individual. And then there's also some additional apps integrations that we'll go through just a little bit. But again, if you need more information, if you need more information, by all means, reach out and I can kind of explain it to you. Another one that a lot of people look over and don't utilize is the priority. So if we set this with an important or an urgent delivery, that individual gets notified of it pretty continuously until they do something with it. It's a pretty nice feature if you have a very important message to send. If someone has the mobile app, it actually rings differently too. And it's maybe slightly annoying if you're in the car and somebody sends something urgent, but by all means, use it as you will. The feature is there, and I actually kind of like this with my team. If we have something urgent that comes up, I can send it to everyone, and they all get it in the same way. So some of the other features that a lot of people like and utilize quite a bit is sending a file. So as you can see on my desktop here, I've got just the PDF from this, the PowerPoint from this meeting that we're doing right now. So I can actually just take this and drag it right there. It uploads, and once I send it, Rachel will get a copy of that. She can edit it directly in Teams, or she can download it herself. Very cool feature. I don't think a lot of people are utilizing it the way that it could be utilized. From there, you notice that the Files tab now has a copy of it. So if you were sharing a lot of files with just certain individuals and you're using it through Teams, this is a cool place just to keep it really condensed, and you can see all the files that have been shared, and you can see when. So if you've got some that are months ago, years ago, you'll actually see that on the when it was shared. You'll get a date there. So it's super awesome. All right, so that's just the chat feature. Okay, Teams. I get a lot of questions lately about what is the difference between chat and Teams. If you have a large organization and you have different entities within the organization, let's say you have teams that just take care of, like physical teams that take care of, if you're a medical facility and you're just doing like admissions or discharges, things like that. And these would be files or information that's only pertinent to that team. It's where you would store these things. You kind of break down your organization into these subcategories. So you can see on my teams, I've got an Eder Casella and Co. Eder Casella and Co. is kind of the corporate parent. That's where a lot of information goes, but not everybody wants to see the Eder Casella technology side. So that's where my team collaborates. So that way the rest of the organization doesn't get a notification if we posted something in there. Okay. So the demo team made it just for today. I've got some of my team members in this group. I also have Rachel in here, so we can kind of do some demonstrations. So if, let's say I need to send a notification to my entire team, okay? I just want to say hello. If I could spell, that'd be great. Okay, my entire team gets this notification. Now, they all can come in here and collaborate. It works very similar to the same as the chat feature. However, it's global, so you don't have to think about who's all getting it. If you've got your team set up in either Microsoft Azure or directly in Teams, you can make these kind of one-offs, or Active Directory, and you have it syncing. There's a little back-end work here. I don't want to talk too techy, but once you have it set up, people can automatically be enrolled in a lot of these different groups. So you don't necessarily have to think about it in the future. You have a new staffer come in that is doing a specific role. It's super simple to get set up. So that's the post. It's very similar to the chat feature. You can go back in time. You can kind of see what's going on. Another area is the files. Okay. So up here at the top, you see general, and then you see post, and then files. Files is a extraordinary place to store things. The back end of this is actually Microsoft SharePoint. SharePoint is, think of it as a file repository, but it does so much more for you. If your team puts files out here, they can all collaborate on them at basically the exact same time. If they're Excel documents, Word documents, the individuals can use these. You can put common files out here that are useful. You can put instructions. Let's say you do payroll for 1 million companies. Millions, maybe an outrageous number. Let's say you do payroll for 50 companies. You could have your files out here on the files portion of your SharePoint team, and then your entire team can get in here and take a look at them. You can even lock and do permission-based things on here. Cool thing with this as well is this sync button, okay? I get a lot of questions on what the sync button does. Some people are like, should I push it? Should I not? Totally safe. If you use OneDrive. Okay, OneDrive is, I kind of popped it open on the right-hand side. It actually is kind of, once you have a Microsoft account, it becomes almost like my little own shared drive for myself. It's cloud-based, everything's stored on your computer initially, and then it syncs out to the cloud, and then it's available from any device that you have Office loaded, okay? Once you hit the sync button, we'll go through it really quick, okay? Cool. All right, so I hit the sync button. Now, suddenly, on my desktop, or not on my desktop, but let me get to it. Awesome. I know I do this way differently than almost everybody else I know. You'll see this Eder Casella and Co. demo team. So a lot of people that have these traditional file shares that are out there on a server, on a NAS, somewhere in the organization, they don't realize that you could actually store everything in SharePoint/Teams and have it be available on their workstation like it's a shared drive. So again, anywhere you log in to your Microsoft Office on a PC and you give it permissions and you trust the device, let's make sure that that's clear too. You trust the device, it'll have all these files available. But you notice that on the status, it looks like a little cloud. That just means that it hasn't been downloaded yet, okay? So let's say we wanted to download it. We double click it. You're gonna notice that it's gonna just start downloading. Oh, and it opens up again, sweet. All right, so a little green check mark, it means it's available on this device. Perfect, okay? So the people or individuals that are trying to use this as a collaborative tool love this. There's so much functionality here. I love the fact that it keeps track on who modified the file last, how long ago. If you have your SharePoint set up correctly, it will allow you to do previous versions and roll things back pretty seamlessly. The wiki, kind of a knowledge base. It's the next tab on here. It's a knowledge base. So your team can set up your own knowledge base, put things out here. It's pretty awesome to use. Not widely used, but something that is worth investigating. I am a list person. So on my personal account, not this account, I have to do. Rachel, could you actually click I set up a couple of things to do. So I'm a list person. I love to be able to check things off. You can integrate to do into your team or individually. So if Rachel is done with setting things up, oh, look, real time, she actually clicked on it. So it removed itself. I'm actually going to click that one. So completed task. Now they're all under there. If we wanted to add additional tasks, you could do this. Say hi to Pam. And I'm going to actually assign this one to anybody on my team. So I'm going to assign it to Dave. And we're going to hit enter. Oh, and demo lock. That'll be fun. Okay, cool. All right, done. It's added. Love it, right? All right, so more features. Let's keep rolling. I know I'm looking at the time and I'm like, oh my gosh, I've not even gotten halfway through anything that I'm planning on doing here. All right, forms. This is another plugin that Teams is kind of cool. You can actually build forms. And if you had, like, let's say surveys that are going out to staff, as you're building these, you can build them directly in Teams. You can do a preview of it. So how much do you love this demo? I'm going to say tons, right? Because I absolutely love demos done by myself. Cool. It was submitted. So you can see what it looks like on a computer and on mobile. All right. All right. So we're going to go back. You notice that right away, the responses is already filled in. So I can see real time who's all responded to my inquiry here, my set of questions. Totally something that you can get even further into. And trust me, I can't even scratch the surface of this right this second, because I could probably do 4 hours just on this, right? Forms and the integration to Power BI is actually pretty strong. And I can maybe even do another seminar just about that. All right, so I have another tab, Teams idea. This is a whiteboard. It's a virtual whiteboard. So you think about that Teams collaboration. that Teams collaboration where, you want to write something out, or even just do like a flow chart, you can totally do that from here. As long as everybody has it open and they have the same version of Teams, I haven't seen too many problems. It's taking a while to load. It's okay. We can keep moving on because there's so much more to show you. Just note that that is there. Oh yeah, here's my scribbles. I was just kind of getting some information out there. You can add text, notes, reaction, templates, like the whole 9 yards. Your team can do it real time too. So if you have something and people are wanting to work together, it kind of replaces that traditional whiteboard. It's really nice if you have like a Surface or something with a touchscreen where you can use a stylus, where you can actually make things look pretty. This is just me with the mouse, just kind of scribbling around. Looks like something my daughter would have drawn out there. Okay, so we've gone over chat, Teams, kind of that Teams collaboration. Let's go into the calendar. Okay, this will be a little bit quicker. You notice this is just a mirror image of my regular calendar. Okay, it's nice because if I have a meeting in here that is a Teams meeting, I can actually launch and interact with it directly from the calendar integration. So I'm going to actually show you that really quick. Let's say with my team, I want to have a staff meeting. Okay, staff meeting is going to be the title. I'm going to go ahead and include somebody. Eder Vicencio. Let's do this. Eric, not that one. Boop, 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 boop. Sorry. All right, we're going to hit OK here. Sweet. My name gets put into there. All right, so I'm going to click this button that says Teams Meeting. It populates all the Teams meeting information. So this is a URL, and the individual receives the email. All they have to do is click that to actually join the meeting with me. They can just do call in. So there is a lot of functionality there. Sweet feature. I think a lot of people use it once they get it all set up. I actually really like the calendar integration, and yeah, that's that. Okay, next one, calls. Next button down is making a phone call. So here at Eder Casella Technology and Eder Casella & Co., we actually use a Teams phone system. Okay, it's not required, but if you don't pay for the phone system integration, it won't be there. So this will just allow us regular outbound calling, almost like a desk phone. You have to have a nice set of earbuds. Note, if you are going to use this for external calls or internal calls, you really want to use a Team certified device, a headset that is listed and sold as a Team certified device. If you don't, you're probably going to run into some weird issues that your IT person is going to be like, I don't know what's causing it. Team certified devices, just save yourself the time and do that. So if, let's say you're not paying for the phone system, the integrated phone system, you can still do internal dialing. You can still call other individuals on your team, in your organization, just with the built-in. Super simple, awesome to use. I can't say enough about it. So now going to screen sharing. This is one of the features I wanted to make sure that I get, and I know I'm getting a little low on time. So in the chat functionality, let's say Rachel and I are working on a project together. So a little bit of role play. You ready, Rachel? Let's say she and I are working on something and she is just stuck beyond belief. And she's frustrated and she's like, hey, Eric, I just really need your assistance on, getting this fixed. Do you have time? Sure, share your screen. So what she would do is come in to our chat, and there's a button up here that actually says screen sharing. Okay, it's actually next to the video call and the phone call for this individual, right? So go ahead and click team share or screen sharing, Rachel. Boop, boop, boop. Look at that. So on my screen, I get her sharing it. Look at that. So she's actually shared the presentation. Sweet. There's a couple little buttons here. We can still chat while we're in here. I could reshare my screen. or share content, or request control. Request control is super nice, especially if you're somebody like me that maybe wants to poke around a little bit and take a look. I request control. She can grant it, and basically it gives me keyboard and mouse. So if it's like a technical support kind of thing, or not that I know anybody that does technical support, I can request control. I can take over. I can kind of show her some different things, and we can collaborate real time. That's a feature. If you're not using it and you're a Teams user, get familiar with it, because I think that's going to be one that you're going to like. All right, so I'm going to leave that. Boop, boop, boop. All right. Again, about the meetings, the Teams meetings, they're a lot like Zoom. They're a lot like the features that you run into here. Because it integrates with Outlook, I feel like some of your features are just a little nicer. You can actually set it up in presentation mode where you can see everybody collaborative behind you. You basically see floating heads. It's pretty awesome. Not really anything earth-shattering there, to be honest. It works. It works really well. And if you're already paying for this and you're paying for Zoom or GoToMeeting or something else, why? Just use Teams. I know this is a Zoom. That's very strategic, because we may be switching ours all over to Teams in the future. We just wanted to get everybody familiar with it. So this is your entryway into the next seminars. Okay, so a few things. We have a few more minutes. I do want to mention the mobile app. I know I said this before a little bit. If you click this button, it's going to show you a QR code, and it's not showing me a QR code. Awesome. Well, it usually works. You can actually just, if you have an Apple device, just go to the App Store, download the Teams app, log in the same way you did on your computer. It looks almost identical. It's all the features are there, files are there. So you're very connected with the Teams app, and I actually love it. I take all my phone calls from it. I have my AirPods. I actually will just pop onto there. If somebody calls me, I don't even answer it on my computer. I answer it directly on my cell phone. So that way I'm mobile. I can walk around. I can do things. My team does quite a bit on it. Even in after hours, we're a whole bunch of highly sophisticated nerds that have a good sense of humor. So they'll send Teams messages every now and then as well. You notice that I also have tasks over here on the left. That's because it's integrated already. I've already downloaded it. There's tons of apps in like the Microsoft App Store on things that you can do, additional things that you can download. Note that some of these are not developed by Microsoft. Some of them are paid subscriptions. There's tons of things out here. I think that if you haven't taken the peek to see what's out there, to see what other features you can get out of Teams, you're doing yourself a disservice. Okay, 11:59. I am right on time. So if we want to open it up for any questions, more than happy to answer.
Thanks, Eric. I do have 2 questions that came in, and if anyone else has them, feel free to put them in the chat. If you're using the phone app for Teams and you have all of the files, is that taking up storage space on your phone, or is that, well, how does that work?
Most of the time, those files don't even download to your workstation until you click on them. So they will take up space once you've actually clicked on them, but until you do that, no, it's not going to take up any space.
Okay. And then the second question was, so you showed forms and whiteboards as tabs. Are those automatically on your team, or do you have to add them on from the apps that you just showed?
Yeah, almost every single one of those you have to add in from the apps. It's like a quick download. To definitely talk to, if you don't have an IT provider, talk to somebody just to make sure that you know where you're getting them from. There's ways as an administrator we can set the approvals or disapprovals, and it's actually relatively simple to do.
Okay. I know I learned about urgent messages today. Didn't realize that. So I'm going to be sending you urgent messages sometimes, but great information.
Sweet. Okay. Well, yes. If anybody else have any more questions? No.
And
You
we
want to
did
talk about
record-
the?
Oh,
You
I
want
was
to talk
gonna-
about the next one?
Yeah, I was gonna say, so we did record this, so you'll be expecting an email from us so you can access the video if you want to go back and look at some of the features. And then our next Tech Talk will be in January, so watch for information on that from us. And have a great holiday season.
See y'all. Thank you for joining.
Thank you.